Okay, good morning, everyone, and thank you for attending this morning. I am Brian Milne, Superintendent of Uniform Operations for the Winnipeg Police Service. I'm going to begin our day by introducing our guests who are with us today. His Worship Mayor Scott Gillingham to my right, and Chris Scott, President of Amalgamated Transit Union to the Mayor's right. We'll begin by our land acknowledgement. I would like to acknowledge that we are on Treaty 1 territory, the home and traditional lands of the Anishinaabe, Innu, Cree, and Dakota peoples, and the national homeland of the Red River Métis. Our drinking water comes from Shoal Lake 40 First Nation in Treaty 3 territory. So thank you for joining us today. We also have in attendance, beyond our speakers, we have Bob Christmas, who is in the crowd here somewhere, who is the Executive Director of Community Safety Team, and Richard Young, Manager of Operations for Winnipeg Transit, and Mayor Chapala, Acting Chief Inspector, Winnipeg Transit. All of us will be available afterwards to answer questions. So beginning today, the Winnipeg Police Service, in collaboration with the City of Winnipeg, is launching a targeted safety strategy aimed at addressing violent and disruptive behavior on Winnipeg Transit buses. The WPS will deploy an increased police presence across transit routes throughout Winnipeg, including the facilities that accompany transit routes, such as the shelter behind us and the related infrastructure. Winnipeg Police Service, we're going to be deploying both a visible presence, so we're going to have officers in uniform, as well as a plainclothes presence on buses. So we're going to be targeting people that get onto buses and choose to either perpetrate violence, disruptive, antisocial behaviors. So this the project that we're running, it's going to be a strategic, intelligent-led project. It's not just a shotgun approach. We're going to be looking at some of the hotspots, if you will, throughout the transit system, where transit and its riders and its employees and its operators have been experiencing most of the problems. That's where the WPS is going to be focusing our efforts. So I want to be clear that we are doing this in collaboration. We're not just doing this, we're not just walking in alone. As you can see, we have our partners with us here today. But I think the best way to describe it is that it is going to be a layered approach. The WPS, we bring certain skills, we bring tactics, experience, and tools to the table, which our other folks, including our community safety team, our transit inspectors, City of Winnipeg, things that just that they don't bring to the team. So we're going to be working together to combat violence and combat some of the disruption that the City of Winnipeg has been experiencing within and on our transit system. So the last thing I want to say is that this is I want to be very clear about this. This is a right. This isn't a nice to have. This is a right. People that, and the 99% of people that use transit, that rely on transit for their transportation needs day in and day out, they have a right to feel safe. They have a right to be able to use the transit system without interference, without harassment, without having to witness or experience violence. So we are stepping in to enhance the ability to people, for folks who are using transit to do it in a safe manner. So those who are getting onto the transit bus with ill intent, You may or may not see us on that bus. We are, as I mentioned, we are deploying a plainclothes contingent. So you will see some uniform presence in addition with some of the other folks, such as community safety team and transit inspectors. But we also are deploying the plainclothes presence. So I want that to be very clear for people who are getting onto buses that you may or may not know if we are in fact there. But if people choose to engage in those sort of behaviors, we're going to be there to deal with it. So with that, I'm going to pass the mic over to Mayor Gillingham for remarks on behalf of the City of Winnipeg.
Thank you. Well, thank you very much, Superintendent Milne, and good morning to everyone. Thank you also for the treaty land acknowledgement. I do want to thank Mr. Chris Scott, the Associated Transit Union, members of our transit team who are here. Thank you so much to each one of you. Dr. Bob Christmas and his team, community safety officers represented here as well. So thank you all for being here today. And I also want to acknowledge our transit operators who are, as many of them you see kind of driving by. They go to work every day with one goal in mind, to do their job with excellence, to get people around our city to their appointments, to school, to and from work, visiting friends. And what we want to do is make sure that through a layered approach, as Superintendent Milne said, and working with all parties, we can provide and ensure a safe space for transit operators, for people who use public transit, for those waiting at bus stops. We want it to be a safe and secure place for all. Because every Winnipegger has the right to be safe and to feel safe, whether they're at home, in their neighborhood, on a bus, or at a bus stop. When someone gets on a bus or waits for a bus at a bus shelter, they should have the confidence that they will get to where they need to go, and the only thing that they are worried about is making sure they're getting on the right bus, not worried whether or not they're safe in their journey. As you heard Superintendent Milne say, today's announcement is part of a layered approach that we are building to improve public safety across Winnipeg. Last year, we launched Winnipeg's first community safety team under the leadership of Dr. Bob Christmas, a big step in strengthening safety on our streets. This police operation will support that team's efforts, giving them backup and resources when situations require more intervention. In fact, just this morning, I know outside of City Hall, 2 police officers in uniform were at a bus stop. When the bus stopped, they just stepped on, said hi to the operator, checked to make sure everything was okay. And so providing that visible presence for our transit teams. Just a couple of weeks ago, we announced that our community safety team, in partnership with transit inspectors, are clamping down on fare enforcement. According to ATU, I know the numbers they have shared is somewhere in the neighborhood of 90% of the incidents that happen on buses happen from people who got on the bus without paying. And so, yes, fare enforcement is about trying to recoup some of that lost fare, but ultimately, and probably more importantly, fare enforcement is about making sure that those who would get on the buses to be disruptive or a threat don't get on the bus in the first place, thereby, making all passengers and operators safe. Violent and disruptive behavior will not be tolerated on Winnipeg Transit. We're committed to making our buses and shelters safe and reliable and welcoming for everyone. As we invest in new buses, a new transit garage, a new transit network, we also want to continue and are continuing to invest in transit safety. So I once again want to thank our Winnipeg Police Service, the community safety team, transit inspectors, and all transit for this partnership. And this is what today is really about. It's a layered approach, and you see partnership here between all the agencies and entities to make sure that those who get on the bus and need to take transit, those who work on a bus every day as transit operators, have a safe place and safe and the assurance of safety as they use our transit system. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. And now I'm going to invite Chris Scott, President of of Amalgamated Transit Union in Winnipeg to provide a few comments. Chris?
Good morning, everyone. On behalf of Amalgamated Transit Union, I want to thank the Winnipeg Police Service, the City of Winnipeg, Mayor Gillingham, Winnipeg Transit, and the community safety team for taking this decisive action to address the violence that we've seen that's been rising across our transit system. For too long, both transit riders and operators have been feeling unsafe. The numbers speak for themselves. 325 incidents of violence reported in 2024, which is 3 times higher than just a few years ago. That troubling trend is continuing throughout this year, and those numbers aren't abstract. Those numbers represent my members, our passengers, our families that are also impacted by these acts. These are operators that are just simply doing their jobs, riders that just want to get to their destination for work, for school, and connect in their communities. I want to make one thing very clear. Our number one priority at ATU is to prevent the assaults from happening in the first place. No operator or passenger should have to face violence while using public transit. And to truly address this crisis, we need more than deterrent. We need prevention, which means investing in stronger social supports, resources for those that struggle with addictions or housing insecurities, and creating safer environments for the buses in our city. By working together, we can strengthen these systems, we can reduce the root causes of violence, and protect both members of the community and the operators. But even with this, there are those that would still choose to act out. Transit operators deserve a safe workplace. No one should be at fear of being assaulted. This initiative, when fully implemented, will improve safety on transit. Projects have happened at similar ATU properties and have resulted in reduction of acts of violence and fare evasion in some categories over 80 to 90%. Our statistics show that 90% of acts of violence stem from people that have evaded fare. Every day, riders and operators are confronted with these verbal threats, weapons, assaults, indecent acts, or open liquor. Many people use transit as their escape vehicle from robberies of convenience stores. And this program will have the benefit of impacting the attempts to reduce retail crime, to reduce fare evasion. This program will be far-reaching beyond the transit system. And I'd like to thank the police for taking this initiative. Increasing the police presence, both visible and undercover on buses, at shelters and stations, sends a clear message that violence and disruptive behavior will no longer be tolerated. When transit is safe, our entire city benefits. We know that lasting solutions come from working together. Operators, peace officers, community safety teams, and city officials all play a vital role. Our members will continue doing what they do best, providing safe and reliable service, and we welcome this added support to help restore confidence in our transit system. Thank you.
Thank you, Chris. Okay, so I'm going to open it up to any questions now.
What's the cost of this increased police presence and where's those coming?
There is no direct cost in the sense that we are going to be using existing resources through our community support units. So we're going to be redeploying existing resources into and onto the transit system.
Is this like a permanent or is this sort of pilot project?
Yeah, it's no, it is not it's not a permanent initiative. However, that being said, we are going to run it through till the end of this year, and then we're going to reassess based on statistics and outcomes.
buses, shelters, or can you elaborate on where it's
Yeah, it's going to be it's going to be a combination. So yeah, we aren't just focusing on the buses themselves. We're going to be, of course, that's probably our main focus, but we're going to be focusing on infrastructure as well, such as the shelter behind me, our rapid transit way, bus stops. But yeah, I mentioned in my comments that we are going to be doing it in an intelligent, data-driven way. So it's not going to be random in the sense that we're just going to pop up anywhere without purpose. It's going to be very purpose-driven in the sense that we're going to be going to the area of need.
Sorry, pardon me, late to the party. Did you say how many police officers will be involved?
We don't have dedicated numbers in terms of saying, oh, it's going to be 10 or 15 or 20 officers per day. It's going to flex based on availability of police resources, the need itself, and it's going to fluctuate on a day-to-day basis. So as the resources permit, we're going to move those resources, existing resources, onto the transit buses and targeted peak times in certain areas. But again, the data is going to tell us where to go.
Is clear that gentleman over there is called for police on buses. Could this be the stuff? Or transit?
Yeah, I appreciate the relationship, the conversations that Mr. Scott and I have had, and his team from ATU. Look, for the first time ever, we now have a community safety officer team, right? And they're working on our buses and around our bus stops. Now we've moved to fair enforcement with that team in partnership with the transit inspectors. We have a partnership with the Winnipeg Police Service, all interacting. Just before you got here, we were talking about the fact that this is a layered approach to public safety on and around our transit system. And so I'm confident that with all of this combined effort, we're going to see a positive impact on an improvement in public safety and the perception of public safety. It's not just about whether or not on any specific bus at any specific time in the day that bus is safe or not, but sometimes there's a perception. I had a message sent to me the other day by someone who indicated that her 72-year-old mother was waiting at the bus stop the other day to go to work and was assaulted. And the message was, now we're a little shaken as a family. And when word gets out, so there's also the perception of safety. What this layered approach will do, need more electric buses that are quieter, but I digress. We're getting to that. But what this will do, hopefully, is that it will improve the confidence that riders have, that families have whose loved ones take the bus, and that our operators have, that with this approach, a layered approach, we're improving safety on our transit system. And as Superintendent Milne said, they'll run this, till and then assess from there. Thank you. Sorry. Is this for me?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
This year, a lot of changes being put into transit. We designing the route system. Now we're implementing safety officers. Is this all in effort to sort of increase ridership or improve safety, or is it all fun?
Both. I think the answer to that question is both. To answer it so everyone can hear it, yes, this is yet another effort to increase public safety across the city of Winnipeg. But that it's specific to transit, it is an effort to make the transit system safer, combined with the investment in the new transit garage, the new network system, the community safety officers, all of it. The goal is to increase ridership on transit, and ultimately to build and deliver a modern and safe transit system for a modern and growing city.
And this question may be for Scott.
Well, my members are always happy when there's programs to improve safety. We have several members that comment to us either directly through email and phone calls or through our social media asking for officers on buses as part of improve safety. So once they're out there and once they're seen, I've already received a call today on the way to this media event that an operator said, I had 2 cops board my bus and they were riding around and it felt great. So I expect that we're going to see a positive opinion from my members, the operators, on this new initiative.